You take away negative thoughts. Don't identify any thought as negative because it's just a thought. Who told you it's negative? It's just a thought. You're making it up, maybe you like it. What's the problem? If you understand it's just a thought, it has no power. If you think it's a reality, then it destroys you. It's just a thought, isn't it? Is it true that you made up the thought? No? You're having doubts about it because you are not thinking, you have a mental diarrhea happening. Yes, it's simply happening. The word thinking means you are exercising your thought process consciously, isn't it? Yes? Thinking means you are doing something consciously. Right now this is in a state of mental diarrhea, it's just pouring all the time. Now, what is negative about it, what is positive about it? What is negative is, it's happening unconsciously, that is what is negative, not the content. You thought about a devil, that's negative, you thought about a god, that is positive, there's no such thing. The most negative thing that's happening right now is it's happening unconsciously. That is what is negative about it. And a whole lot of people have destroyed themselves trying to stop those thoughts that they think are negative. And they try to fight them in so many different ways. You create these things and then you fight them. It's your thought. You must be able to throw it and roll it back whenever you want, isn't it? You must be able to roll it out and roll it in as you want. But right now, your own ghosts have become so big that you want to fight them. If you win, you're really lost. Because something that is not true, if you fight and win it, you have really lost it, isn't it? So there is no such thing as negative and positive thought. Either it's a conscious thought or it's a diarrhea. So, how to stop this? See, suppose you are having diarrhea, physical diarrhea. First thing to do is, every other treatment is next. First thing to do is stop eating bad food, isn't it? Something caused diarrhea, first thing is stop eating bad food, whatever caused this, stop that. This is the first thing you must do. Right now the bad food is just this. You identified yourself with something that you are not. Now you can't stop your thought process, do what you want. You do any mantra you want, think of any god you want, do whatever the hell you want. The moment you identify yourself with something that you're not, you cannot stop your mind.
What are the best practices for someone who is dead serious?
Dead or serious?
Well, you referred to this last night.
Yeah. It once happened. There was a Sufi master in Basra. You know Basra? Basra is that place which is famous for pearls today in Iraq, or it's famous for bombing, whichever way. So, someone came and said, please give me a teaching. He refused, no teaching. Then more and more important people started coming to him and said, please give us a teaching. He said, no teaching. Now, because he refuses to teach, he became very famous. So one day, a great scholar in the area who is well versed in all the scriptures and everything, he came and insisted, you have to teach. You have something that no scholar can have. I'm beginning to realize that. So you have to teach, you cannot keep it to yourself. So, the Sufi master looked at him and said, I am not giving a teaching to you, not because I am not willing, because you are not willing. The scholar said, what are you saying? I am not willing, I am here, I am asking you, I am the one who is asking you. And you are saying, I am not willing? Now the teaching that I give, you will not be willing. He said, what is the teaching? Are you willing? Anything, I am willing. So, the master went inside, brought a dirty-looking piece of cloth and gave it to him and said, wear this as your loincloth. You take off all your robes and nice clothes, wear this as your loincloth. The scholar looked at this dirty piece of cloth, said, what this? Not just that. Then I will give you an empty can with a string, wear it around your neck. And I will give you a few sweets, peppermint. You go on the street to the marketplace. All the young boys will look at you and tease you and throw stones at you. Whoever throws a stone at you, take out a peppermint, grin at them and give them a peppermint. The scholar said, this is ridiculous. What will happen to me in this town if I do such a ridiculous thing? See, I told you you're not willing for the teaching because the question is just this, do you want a teaching that you like or do you want something that transforms you? That's a question. So now you're asking this question, I am dead serious. So the first and foremost thing is you must make yourself non-serious, which is not possible. So the only way you can make yourself non-serious is to be ridiculous, you know? Can you do that? Can you get up and do a jig right now? Do it. Now you must do it the Indian way, the Indian jig. No, you must do the Indian jig. So, you see you're getting little non-serious now. Not dead at least, still serious, not dead. So, just loosen up your life a little bit, laugh a little more, involve yourself with people around you, do things that you think is not so important. Don't do things which are very important. Do simple things. It's very important you do simple things. Very important things you're doing in your life, you will become dead serious. You know Bertrand Russell, an Englishman. Bertrand Russell said, if you're beginning to think that what you're doing is very important, you need to take a holiday. So holiday does not mean coming to India. Holiday is every day, in those 24 hours you must take a holiday from your seriousness. From your seriousness has come essentially because of your self-importance. You hold yourself as an important person. I want you to see you are like a speck of dust in this existence. Tomorrow morning if you disappear, for sure in India nobody will miss you. Even down under, they won't bother much, you know. A handful of people, they will also forget soon enough. Isn't it so? Oof! If nature does woof, you're gone. And nothing will happen in this world, everything will happen wonderfully well even if you're not there. Every human being should be aware of this every moment of his life. It does not matter what the whole world says about you. It does not matter how significant a work you're doing. You must understand that tomorrow morning the world will go on fine without you, whoever you may be. Isn't it so? If you constantly remind yourself of this, you'll have no reason to be serious. Definitely not dead. And don't be dead now. A time will come. It's time to be alive.
ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतयान शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ। Scriptures lay down 5 qualities that every seeker on the spiritual path must have in order to realize the truth of his real nature, in order to realize who he really is beyond the body-mind complex. Now allow me to share them with you. First is Vivek, which in English translates to discrimination. Now it's this discrimination only which makes one a spiritual seeker. Isn't that so? Unless you discriminate between what is real and what is unreal, unless you discriminate between what is eternal and what is ephemeral, you cannot walk on the spiritual path. Discrimination is to see the unchanging consciousness behind this ever-changing phenomenal world of things and beings. Discrimination is to see the eternal consciousness behind this transitory body and mind. Every true spiritual seeker deep down knows that there is something within him or her which transcends this body-mind complex. Though it may not be their experience right now, but still they can feel it. And this is actually the supreme truth, that you are the infinite consciousness behind this little limited body and mind. Now the second quality is Vimukh, which means freedom from desire. Though the complete freedom from desire can be had only after spiritual awakening, only after enlightenment. But still, if you can remain conscious in your day-to-day life, you can protect yourself from getting into the trap of many desires. Many spiritual seekers mistake basic needs for desires. Now we need some things to protect our bodies, like food, water, clothes, etc. If you are hungry and you want to eat something, that is not a desire. That can't be called a desire. But if you say that your hunger can be satisfied only by having a particular type of food, that is surely a desire. So you need to practice some discrimination in finding out what is your basic need and what actually may be a desire. More often than not, the desire comes to you in the garb of a basic need. So you need to be conscious about it. You need to see what your mind presents before you. The third quality is Kriya Abhyas, which means practice of your spiritual disciplines. Now whatever spiritual disciplines you practice, be it mantra chanting or meditation, you must make sure that you do that on a regular basis. Doing meditation for one day and then skipping it for 2-3 days won't bear the fruits. Your efforts should be persistent. The fourth quality is Kalyan, which means service to fellow beings. You need to be of some service to other beings. Without this quality, you cannot progress on the spiritual path at all. So just make sure that you don't miss a great opportunity of lending a helping hand to whoever needs it. Now here too, you need to practice some discrimination. Helping others also requires some amount of discrimination. If some guy comes to you and asks you to lend him $1,000, will you give that to him? No, you need to see who he is and why he needs it. Spirituality makes you like a child and not childish. There is a big difference between them, and you need to know that. Now the fifth quality is anavasad, which means cheerfulness. Without cheerfulness, you cannot progress on the spiritual path. It's as simple as that. If you are cheerful, you grow on the spiritual path by leaps and bounds. There is no place for seriousness in spirituality. You really need to know that. Many people are under the notion that to walk on the spiritual path, you need to be really serious. No, far from it. Cheerfulness makes you dance your way into the kingdom of heaven, which is present right within you. If you are not cheerful, you will be kicked into this kingdom of heaven by the universe. That's how it works. And cheerfulness is something which you can easily develop within you. And for this, you need to shed the burden of the past and future. Grievances and resentments about what has happened with you, and anxieties and worries about what's gonna happen to you are the cause of seriousness within you. So once you recognize this, you will immediately start experiencing that subtle emanation of joy within you, which is uncaused, which has got no reason behind it. And it is this joy which makes you cheerful.